Maar Breichereers, alles gut. We need the rain. Aber nicht so hard auf einmal. About it when ich schwätzen will. Especially when I want to talk. I want to say a little bit about my background, if I may. I hope it's all right. I grew up on a farm outside of Kutztown, and my mother is Viola Miller. She died, of course, some years ago, but you might have seen Viola Miller's name along with the Drechterkuchen, with the funnel cakes. And she helped to introduce those to the whole world by introducing them to Dr. Shoemaker, and then to the whole festival and beyond here it spread everywhere. Of course, my grandmother was Emma Miller, and she is the one who was making the funnel cakes. When I used to visit her when I was in college, she would ask me what I would like to have, and she'd always assume it was Drechterkuchen. And I sometimes thought I wish I could get something else from her, but it was always funnel cakes, because one time I said I really liked them. So anyhow, Emma Miller is my grandmother, and my claim to fame is Lester Miller down the way. You hear the boom boom down there during their hoedowns is my brother. Yeah. So I was born on the farm, and what I did, ich habe etwas geschrieben, ein Gedicht geschrieben, als etwas taught über wie's war, when ich jung war, how things were when I was a kid, and the kind of work we had to do. So, here we go. Schaffdaage, my Bauersbu im Frühjahr. Now this is a little bit late. It's already summer, but this would be for Frühjahr, for spring. Work days in spring for a farm boy. Der Weiß vom Schnee ist weg. Die Pore sind menschnau braun Dreck. Es geht wieder am Blanzer, die Blume tun Danzer, und Gras wächst grün in alle Eck. Frühmorgens, aus dem Bett, Zeit für Schaffen. Der Hund springt draus rum, ist am Blaffer. Grad naus die Kiehmelke, schon stut der Pappschelder. Es hat Schaff, doch du nichts nicht hasse. Geh naus und du die Seischlappe. Nimm Puder, du Wasser neizapper. Rier's wieder dei Hänge, im Trog du sei Schenke. No springe die Sei an und dapper. Es wird wärmer und selles kein Schand. Pap sagt, heit schaff mer auf dem Land. Steh von die Felder lese, oh so ein lasischer Weser. Solch Arbeit macht gar kein Verstand. Schon geblugt und geägt ist der Grund. Hen Grumbeere geschnitten, 1000 Pfund. Sticker im Bodderstecker, no schee sie zudecken. Esst Grumbeere, dann bleibt er gesund. Oh Jung, such noch die Feder vielmal. Wässer und Fieder sie wohl. Die Hinkel gaxen wie Gräuer. Ach, es gibt so viel Euer. Oi, oi, mein Karre ist voll. No kommt die Zeit, macht die Nas ringlich. Für das hat der Pap heit gedient mich. Viehstell mit Stroh richten, aber zuerst muss man ausmischen. Bis Tag sind, dann sind wir wie stinkig. Kommt Feierabend, die Mann ist am Kochen. Et Kiche dir haben wir schon gerochen. Oh, Miet sind wir unmatt, doch fressen wir uns satt. Die Fleischal und Schergor die Knochen. Ja, dann von Blog und Schwitz bin ich nachts frei. Es dunkelt, schlüpf gern ins Bett nahe. Haarig, frisch Pfeife so glor wie heilig Engelchor. In Friede dann schlaf ich gleich ein. This was really to be, thank you. This was really to be an ode to the spring peeper, or as I would say in Pennsylvania Dutch accent, ode to the spring peeper. But anyways, one of the things I always think back to is in my childhood, going to bed at the end of the day, as I just wrote in this poem, and to lie there, and the last thing I would hear before my eyes fell closed and I went off into dreamland was the spring peepers singing me to sleep. I miss them. I know they're still around, but I'm never at the right place, the right time to hear them. I'm not living close enough to that, but down in our meadow we would hear those spring peepers. I also want to say something about, I didn't have to learn the dialect in a school or anything like that. I would hear it all the time from my parents. But the thing that happened in our generation, almost in this whole area around Kutztown, every family was just about like ours from what I could see, was that the parents still spoke the dialect to each other, their generation. But to us kids, they always spoke English. But it was with a very heavy accent. And I need to tell you a side story. I hope this is all right. I need to tell you a side story. I went off to college in Muhlenberg College, and it was already mentioned, I'm a Lutheran pastor sometime early. That was mentioned by Bill Donner. And so I went off to college, and my roommate was, in my freshman year, was from Somerville, New Jersey. And after a couple of months, he finally felt bold enough, and he said to me, "Dick, I don't want to offend you, but what country do you come from?" I said, "I just live over by Kutztown." So, but I did realize later that a lot of the fellows in my class, it was all men at that time, would sometimes turn away and say, "Did you hear the way he talked?" So eventually I did change my accent. But then I had another problem when I got back home and talked to my brothers. They said, "We can't understand you anymore." All right, I noticed that we do it in English as well, so I wrote this pre-pandemic and everything was shut down and I had lots of time, so instead of just writing it literally, my translation is written in a poetic form.